Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Alien Covenant. So I did go to see Alien Covenant yesterday, and I saw it, and my review is it is a 1 out of 5 star movie, and I was not a fan. However, the problem with this, with me reviewing Alien Covenant is it is my fault. It is not Ridley Scott's fault. So Ridley Scott is in charge of, the Alien films at this point. And I went to see Prometheus, and I thought Prometheus was a hot mess. The biggest issue is Prometheus, just explain where Prometheus went. Prometheus had a character who was introduced to you as a cartographer. And they said, this guy is a cartographer. His job is to make maps. And then they said not only does he make maps, but he has these incredibly powerful tools that are far more powerful than any cartographer would have today. And that are just, this guy is a cartographer the level of which your, subtle, backward society cannot imagine. And then they had that cartographer get lost. I'm not kidding. This happened in the movie. A guy who had all the equipment to not get lost, and his entire job was not to get lost. And he got lost in the film. It made no sense, right? And that was Prometheus. And the whole thing was just just piling stuff on top of another. It wasn't really storytelling. It wasn't really written. It was just let's jam in as many cool characters and cool ideas as we can. And I will admit, Transformers gets away with this, right? But I just don't want my Alien Covenant films to be Transformer movies. I'm okay with, I love the Transformers movies. They're written like nonsense. It's hard to even say they have writers, right? But I love that series, and the reason why is now. Oh yeah. So the reason why I really like the Transformers series. Excuse me, my allergies really kicking up today. So the reason I really like the Transformers series is, excuse me, this. Whoo. Oh, excuse me. Is the source material, okay? The source material is fantastic. But those movies are based on an 80s toy, okay? So if you have just a whole lot of cool concepts being layered into an awesome sundae, that you eat with a spoon, that's okay when your material is based on an 80s toy. But the Alien movies are now being written exactly like the Transformers movies. Just like a big old pile of awesome, but with just zero attention to story or any type of cohesiveness, right? And that's problematic, in my opinion. Oh, excuse me. All right, so I was very disappointed with the Alien Covenant film. I was really excited about it because I keep feeling like they're going to reboot it and it's going to be a viable series, right? And I really want that. I want Aliens to be a viable series again. Oh, excuse me. Now these films, these are made with Hollywood blockbuster money. This had to be cost $150 million, right? And it looks fantastic. The CGI everything's great in this movie. The acting's great. The CGI is fantastic. Even a lot of the concepts they deal with are really fantastic. But what really kind of frustrated me was, when I'm going to an Aliens movie, I'm looking at that like a piece of art. This isn't a puppet show. You're going to talk about theology and philosophy and politics and, social issues and cultural issues. That's what the Alien movies have always been. Now, they are alien monster movies, but they're supposed to be a piece of art, like a painting you would go to in a movie, in a museum. And so I want to engage with the creator and the creator to say, hey, I have a position, and I'm putting that position out. Do you agree or do you disagree with it, right? You can say, oh, I agree with the creator, or I don't agree with the creator of this film, right? But my issue with Alien Covenant was the writing is so all over the place, right? That one of the things that I don't understand what the creator is really trying to make a point of, okay? So one of the things is Ridley Scott is a Hollywood director, okay? And I know what Hollywood values are. I'm an evangelical Christian. Everybody knows what evangelical Christian values are, okay? Now, maybe they range, right? But one of the things is this movie isn't consistent, right? One of the things they have is they have the bad guy in the film do thing, right? And every single one of those things, like, they're constantly just showing you, hey, this is a mustache twirling villain, right? Everything he does is horrible and terrible, right? This is a straight up villain, right? But then you're like, well, wait, but he does this, this, and this. And I thought those were Hollywood values that were being upheld by Hollywood and being touted to the whole world that these are useful things in society, right? And so it's just not consistent, right? And so I don't know what they're saying, because they're saying there's not a consistent message that you can say, I agree with this or I disagree with this in the Alien Covenant movie. You could say different messages in your film, but you need tracks that say this, I posit this, and I posit this, and I posit this. But when you're just saying, jam one more cool thing into the movie, make this look neater, make this run faster, it doesn't work, right? And Alien Covenant just did not work. 1 out of 5 star movie for me, but Ridley Scott got my money, right? And he deserved to get my money, because I am still interested enough in the Alien movies. I was the sucker here. He didn't do a poor job making a bad movie. When I saw Prometheus and saw what a hot mess that was, I knew that there was a very, very low chance that there would be any real writing or anything of significance posited, put forward to debate or not to debate, to believe in or not to believe in Alien Covenant. And there wasn't. There's not a cohesive story. It's a monster movie, the likes of which you could have just had, any indie film startup could have made this thing for $25 million. Wouldn't have looked as great, but it would have been the same kind of I really expected this was going to be a cohesive story that you could really approach like a piece of art, approach like a painting in a museum. And it's just not. It's just a big pile of awesome, which is that, okay, what I mean by it's a big pile of awesome, right? So Hot Wheels are awesome, and ice cream is awesome, and Star Wars movies are awesome. But if you put, your Star Wars DVDs down, and then you throw a bunch of ice cream on them, and you sprinkle them with Hot Wheels, that's not a good thing. And that's what this movie is. It's just a big pile of awesome, not connected to each other, and that's just it. I'm waiting for Hollywood to understand writing is important. Writing has got to be as important as beautiful people on the screen and cool images on the screen and good pacing. You just have to. It has to get there. And so, well played, Ridley Scott. You got my $10, and I went to see Alien Covenant, and I was very unhappy with it. And it made me sad. And so I'm hoping that soon they'll reboot the Aliens, series, and it can return to a point where, just like the Alien movie, like the first Alien movie, it was cohesive. There was a story. You could understand it. And actually, I will say this. You can understand what is being done in the Alien film, right? It's the bad guy is the issue, okay? And I am keeping this spoiler free. The bad guy is the issue. Everything the bad guy does, in my opinion, is clearly evil in the film. But if I'm trying to follow from the age-old way that Hollywood has been bringing forward this issue and this issue and this issue and this issue, I don't understand why they've had the bad guy do these things that we've been told by Hollywood for decades should be a part of our society. So it was confusing, and it was frustrating, and it was a confusing, frustrating movie to watch. That's my take on Alien Covenant. Thank you.